there was a fourth rat. I thought there was a whole family of them, to be honest. It sounded like they were having a party in the cratch. Last night, the night before that, you hear these little scrabbly, scritchy sounds. I was watching YouTube, which I was doing last time I had a rat encounter. But this one was a bit more macabre, but it ended up that way. So what happened was, I became aware of the presence of rats in the cratch again, which it's my fault because I've left piled stuff up there, junk that I don't need, or whatever. It's not organised. There's loads of little nooks and crannies, so rats are going to love that. And then you put a bag of rubbish in there and they're thinking we've got a condominium built for us and we've got a food supply in this rubbish bag. It's ideal, so no wonder. Anyway, I wasn't sure how many. I felt there were several, judging from the noises. It felt like there were several. Hard to tell. So I started putting poison down, poison blocks. It happened that first evening I arrived here these mornings, and I'm just going back to. Put poison blocks down. I know, guys, I must apologise in advance for the grisliness and my cruelty, really, in my treatment of the rat, my ruthless treatment. But so I wasn't sure how many there were. The noise died down, so I thought perhaps it's died. It's eaten the poison, which I saw the poison in the place it had gone. So I thought it must have eaten it. Perhaps it's dead, but no. A little bit later on I thought, is that scratching thing again? And I thought, yeah, it is. Put another block out. I don't know, the second one I don't know if it got touched, whatever. Perhaps the rat was a bit sick, but it definitely wasn't dead. And the next night, again about 6 p.m-ish, about an hour after dark, perhaps, scratch. I was like, oh no, because it's a horrible sound to have. My chair is only 3 feet away from the cratch, the bow doors, so they're just right next to me. And I'm thinking they're going to damage something because there's no food out there, nothing to eat, nothing around they can eat. So they're going to start chewing into things like cables, they can seriously damage stuff. So I've got to sort it out. So I had a couple of poison blocks left, put those down the next night. Again, they disappeared, nothing. And my last gambit, which actually I wanted to try earlier and I forgot. My last gambit was a rat trap or two. And I better slow down actually, more boats. My last gambit was a rat trap. And it was last night. And last time I tried a rat trap, right, I didn't use it properly. I didn't put the bait in properly. I made it too easy to snatch. I used cheese, but I made it too easy for the cheese to come off. It triggered the trap and I went, oh God, I know what that noise is. Looked in the crack, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to see? What sight is waiting for me out here? There was no rat. It must have been injured or something, I don't know. But it wasn't killed because there was no body. So the rat had got away, triggered the trap. So I sort of wrote the traps off as not being perhaps that effective, but I wasn't using it properly. You've got to, when you put the bait on, the cheese, you've got to try different things. You've got to sort of use like butter or something to hold it in place. You've got to just make the rat pull at it a little bit, just not make it too easy, quick to snatch. And that's what I did. And I put it out there. Probably I found them. I'd been looking for them for days actually, but like everything else on the boat, I can never find anything once I've put it away because of the storage issues. So anyway, I did find them. Sheer desperation, turned the cupboards upside down, found them, and I put both of them out. And I did this butter. I think I put some cheese on, cinnamon. I saw on YouTube they like cinnamon. Apparently, well, it worked. I put a little sprinkle of cinnamon on, And I think that was it really. But I pressed the cheese in, So no noise. Went to bed, and I could still hear the scritch, scratch, but no noise of the trap. So I goes to bed. Woke up this morning. Obviously, I didn't hear it. I was asleep, but the trap had gone off. And I was expecting, or at least, I suspected something horrible might be waiting for me, And it wasn't as bad as I thought. But in some ways it was worse, because the rat was injured but not dead. It was lying next to the trap, and there was a little dot of blood on the trap. Sorry guys, but what can I say? It's the truth. There was a dot of blood on the trap, and the rat was lying next to it. And I thought, is it dead? Well, I thought it's got to be dead. It's laying there. And of course, I moved the door, because it was right underneath where the door is, right in front of the door. And I moved the door, and I saw its chest move. I thought, oh my God, the thing's still alive. But it wasn't fully mobile. Like, something must have been broken. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Perhaps its neck, perhaps it's some legs, I don't know. It wasn't able to move, because as soon as it saw me edge the door open, that's normally the rat's trigger. I've seen, this recently. They will absolutely scarper, unless they're cornered, in which case look out. And there's a serious side to it because of Weil's disease, which is in their urine. But who knows? Is it in their bloodstream? Is it in their bite, their saliva? Who knows? I don't know. I don't want to take the chance. So yeah, the rat was there, and I thought, okay, now I've got a half-dead rat just in front of the bow doors. What do I do? And I was thinking, I need something to grab it and launch it out. I just wanted it out of the boat, because I thought if it makes its way into a nook or cranny and dies there, I'm going to have a rotten corpse of a rat, and Anyway, so I came out. First of all, before tackling the rat at all, I came out and undid the cratch cover and lifted it, so I had a clear throwing arc out of the boat. And then I got the coal tongs, brilliant coal tongs, because I use ones like barbecue ones, and they properly grip. Actual coal tongs might not have done the job, to be honest. It might have gotten its way out or something, I don't know. But these barbecue ones, what an inspired purchase that was. So I got them. I was close up. It probably knew I was coming miles away, could smell me and everything, hear me, and I'm like the big clumsy thing. But I sort of crept up, and I thought, if it is capable of movement, because in between me opening the cratch and it had moved to a slightly different position, so it was capable of some movement, but I didn't know how much. So what did I do? So the tongs, the coal tongs, actually barbecue tongs, brilliant for coal, to be honest. I don't know why everyone doesn't use them. So I poised them just above it, and launched and shut at the same time. Now normally I'm terrible at physical tasks. I'm just so ham-fisted. It's just ridiculous how bad I am. But I managed to get it, and all of a sudden it came to life and started wriggling. Oh my God. So the thing's wriggling, trying to get out, but it was clearly damaged. It wasn't fully mobile, but it meant business. So what I did was I sort of lashed it, I don't know what hand, anyway, whatever it was, I got it threw it out onto the bank. Hello, what was that? I threw it onto the towpath, and then I thought, well, I've got to get rid of it, because if it's capable of moving, which I don't know, some movement it can do, if it's capable of movement, it actually brought it, in the tongs, it brought its neck back as if to bite at whatever was holding it, Utterly terrifying, honestly. I was far more scared than the rat was. Imagine if the aliens and predators were that predator thing where it kills people for sport. Imagine if it was as squeamish as me. No, it just wouldn't kill anyone, would it? But anyway, so the rat's on a towpath, hasn't moved, and I thought this thing is pretty much immobilised, but it's got a bite in it still. And so what did I do? Oh, I booted it. Well, first of all I kicked it, and then it started jumping, and it jumped onto my foot, so I sort of shook my foot, and then it was disappeared in between my legs. So I'm staggering round, slow-witted buffoon, turned round, and the rats then stopped again behind me. It couldn't do any more, thank God. A rat in proper shape would have probably eaten me alive. So it's on the bank, it's jumping in between my legs and everything. I'm stepping back. So I thought, okay, I've got to sort of end this, and I'm not going to go into any detail, but I used a bladed implement to put it out of its misery, shall we say, because it must have been in pain. I mean, joking aside, the thing must have been in agony. Whatever the trap did to it got out, but God knows what had happened. So yeah, I'll put it out of its misery with a bladed implement, and we shall say no more than that. It was horrible, to be honest. We don't find ourselves killing animals in our modern lives. It was like, it's a novel and very unpleasant thing. You know, we scoff meat and different products like that all day long, you know, and we never think about the actual death of the animal that's got. Not that I'm going to eat a rat, by the way, obviously that's not, but you know, you get the point. We're removed from the death of the animals, and I suspect sometimes those deaths are absolutely awful. Their lives are as well. Anyway, let's not get into the whole animal welfare thing, you know, but I can see the moorings up ahead now. Kevin will be wondering what the hell has happened to me. I've been up there for, I don't know, 2 hours faffing. Worst water point I've ever been to. But you know, I've left one trap in there. I don't know, there might be more rats. I've run out of poison, but I'm going into rugby tomorrow, so I'll get some poison. I think the poison slows them down. I don't think it kills them, because this guy was leaping round. He was like an Olympic rat. The thing was just agile. Even though it was half dead, it was jumping in between my legs, and it was nightmare. So yeah, I think I need a better weapon to dispatch an animal in future if that happens, and I get like a half dead rat in a trap, because it'll happen again. They'll come aboard again. You know, I've had really bad luck, because it must have come aboard at Hawkesbury Junction, the rat. I never heard it the first night when I was on the way from Hawkesbury Junction. I stopped overnight and then carried on down here. Never heard it the first night, but the second night when I arrived here, did I hear it then? Wow. So very traumatic start to the day, to be honest. But at least I was able to put it out of its misery, which was very kind of me. You're probably thinking, yeah, sure, you know. Awful business. But, of course, it's my fault for providing such an ideal rat habitat in the cratch. Oh, I bumped against the side. Let's get off. I bumped against something with the hull anyway, so that's okay. So I'm afraid there was a fourth rat. There might be more, you know, watch this space basically. I mean, there could be more of the buggers. I'm just looking ahead at the moorings where Kevin's boat, and I'm not seeing any others. Oh, I've got my things. I've got my binocs. Let's see. Don't think there's a boat in front of him. But either way, there's Armco. But what I'm after, there's some rings in front of Kevin's boat. So I'm thinking, nice early start in the morning, unwrap the ropes, you know, rings, and off you go. So we'll see. But yeah, I actually saw the rat as well. I had seen it. I sort of shone a torch into the cratch during the scritching noises, and I did see its head poking up from behind something. So yeah, I've got to clear out the cratch. I've got to have a massive cratch clear out. It's just not good enough. I've let it get out of hand really, and got to get it sorted. The trouble is, it is handy storage, but using it as storage does create nooks and crannies for rats. And of course, you know, as a continuous cruiser, you've generally got one bag of rubbish somewhere, and the cratch is the best place for it. I don't know. I don't know what the long-term answer is really, for me or the rats, you know. Both of us are having a bit of a bad time, you know what I mean? Perhaps more stressful for the rat in view of the fact that it's now deceased. Oh dear, oh dear. Wow. I killed a rat. But yeah, so I've got the traps anyway. The thing is, right, the traps, clearly the traps do work. Don't leave any rubbish out there. I did have a rubbish bag, but I kept it inboard. Kept it indoors, so to speak, deliberately, so the rat went hungry, because I thought otherwise it's not going to bother. It's going to go for the easy food in the bag. I think there's something, I think they suspect, they're intelligent enough to suspect, like there's something, you know, with a trap or with poison, there's a taste in the poison. They're like, hang on, you know, it tastes sweet, but so I think given a choice they'll avoid it. So you've got to sort of starve them into going for the poison or going for the trap. Absolutely awful business, my God.